probably start.
I generally these sessions are welcomed and by Vidya ji. So I have an honor to introduce her this time. She's going to completely host the session today. So Vidya Rani is an dear friend, my elder sister, an Indian expatriate living in Oman 25 years. A dedicated healthcare professional with a deep passion for development and continuous learning. Whenever I see her, she's very keen on learning and giving a learning to the people who she knows, right? And she firmly believes that I will nurture the soul and I will train people for their transformative journey. And she's her professional goal or personal goal is to impact lives positively, guiding individuals path to self improvement. So I am so glad to know her, and I'm so glad to have her on board and ensure that this session she'll give you great insights on medical value travel, even if you're doing since long. She will be a resourceful, she will share a resourceful knowledge which will help your business, get a great shape. So over to you, Vidya ji. Please conduct a great, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mehir. That was truly an energetic beginning that you gave to the session. I think it was required for all of us to give that kickstart. Thank you so much. And I'm really glad we have the members from the fraternity joining us and all the medical value travel facilitators who are already doing a great job. But this session is going to empower that and give more insights in terms of making them feel even doing a better job in what they're doing already. I'd like to just share my screen and start the session. So just give me an indication if my screen is visible completely.
Yes, it is visible.
Perfect. All right, let's begin. So all the members who are here today, we are going to discover today how can we unlock this huge world of the medical value travel. So this knowledge session in which we are going to go through a step-by-step view about various aspects that are involved in medical value travel. So what I am going to take you through in this journey for the next hour or so is about, we'll have an introduction of what is actually medical value travel. We'll see what is a history. Is it a new phenomenon or it has been there from a long time? Let's see about it. We'll also see what happens in a patient's journey. Where does it begin? Where are the various steps that are involved? And where does it lead to? We are going to study about that. We are going to take a quick view about major specialties for which patients actually travel from one country to another. We'll also, it's important for us, since we are in the handling patients, understand basic medical terminologies. We'll also have a quick overview of human anatomy, which is important for us. It's also important for us to understand why does patients explore the options. They're looking for one or two different options. What would be the reason for it? Why do they actually need to choose a medical tourism facilitator? What is the importance of us as a facilitator? That's another factor we'll study. We'll also see why choose India. What's so special about India and what are the important features about that? And also an important aspect that our team, I would request you to please mute the people, whoever is joining. And we also, very important, the aspect that I personally very close to my heart is to prioritize the trust and the quality more than the monetary benefits that we gain out of this whole process of medical value travel. And it's important that we understand the patient's point of view. We might look from a facilitator perspective, but we go to the other side of the table and see what does patient want, what's actually happening in their minds. And also we'll understand the importance of well coordinated process. As I said in the beginning, it's a highly complex and a dynamic process. That's the reason we need a well-coordinated process among all the stakeholders who are the part of this process. And since this involves patients from different nationalities, we need to understand the etiquettes and best practices that we need to follow. And we'll look at future opportunities, what is there in store for MVT. And like any other business, every business has some elements of risks and challenges. So let's discover what are the risks and challenges and how can we mitigate them or minimize them to have the best business opportunity. And in the end, we'll also discuss about the cultural understanding, and then we will take the question and answers to see how we can wrap up the entire session. So with this overview, let's come to the introduction. What is the definition of medical value travel? When a lot of people, when I meet, a lot of people are do not even aware of this terminology properly. But across the world, medical tourism is actually popularly known term. It's an industry where people travel to another country for medical care. Very simple. People are traveling from their home country to another country. So this whole process is called medical value travel or medical tourism. But what makes people travel? What are the various factors that drive the people, compel them, make them travel? That is high cost in the home country. There are several countries where the healthcare cost is very high and becomes unaffordable. And also people travel for a better quality of care because in certain countries, the quality of care that's required is not so great. And in some other countries, this not even available certain treatments. For example, the place I am sitting right now in Oman, there are many treatments which are probably not available in the country. That's one of the reason patients travel. And another major reason, especially from a lot of Western countries and the Middle East, patients travel because of longer waiting times. It's impossible in healthcare, in a medical condition. Imagine patient is undergoing a serious medical condition, and if they have been given an appointment 3 months down the line, 2 months down the line, the medical condition that they have over a period of time gets worsened. They will have much more worse medical conditions. So longer waiting time is another major factor why patients actually travel to another country. And another interesting factor that we figured out is patients actually, they need not be a patient. They're having a leisure holiday, traveling to another country, but they want to combine with a medical treatment. Could be a cosmetic treatment, a dental treatment, it even could be a checkup, an executive health screening, preventative care, or even alternative therapies like Ayurveda or any other kind of alternative therapy like wellness is another aspect for which patients travel from one country to another. And when we talk about the history, is this medical tourism a new phenomenon? Is it a new industry? Not at all. In the ancient times, actually, we must have heard that people used to travel from one place to another. Probably somebody said there are hot springs somewhere. If you go and take a dip there, all these ailments will go away. Or there used to be some kind of a health resorts or some of the places which had therapeutic history. So there were always people in the past who traveled to those places to take treatment. But in a structured way, the modern era of medical value travel actually began in the late 20th century. And what industry actually complemented the medical travel, value travel was actually the airline industry. When the airline industry developed extensively and air travel became more affordable and more flights were available, and all the countries developed air infrastructure, more airports were developed in various countries, the air travel industry actually complemented the medical value travel industry. So this expanded, and now we can see this as a full-fledged industry, which is actually becoming an economic contributor to so many countries. And the countries which are leading in the world map in medical value travel and which makes affordable, high quality treatments are India, Thailand, Mexico. Like this, these are the countries which became very popular and started providing affordable, high quality treatments to all the patients who are traveling from various different countries. So, this is a little bit about the history of medical value travel. And let's now come to the patient journey. Where does a patient begin? Where is the origin of it? And how do they travel through the whole decision making process? I'm sure you all have been experiencing this already. To try to visualize an example of your live patients that you're handling right now. So, to begin with, what happens with the patient is a patient develops a symptom, a particular symptom that goes on pain somewhere, or there's an infection, or any kind of symptoms that they recognize within their body, and they do a self assessment initially. Then they check with the primary care center in their own place, their hometown. It could be a general practitioner and start a particular type of treatment, and there is no remedy for it. The symptoms did not reduce, the pain did not reduce, or it started aggravating and became worse. Then they get a referral to go and see a specialist and probably do advanced diagnostics, probably like an MRI, CT scan, or series of blood tests or any other kind of test, depending on the type of problem that they are facing. So after they go through this process, they get another treatment from the specialist that they start taking. But in spite of taking the treatment from a specialized doctor who is a consultant or a specialist, their symptoms has no improvement. They do not find a relief, or there could be, like as we saw in the previous slide in the introduction, the treatment option that they were given could be very expensive, or it could be provided as a long waiting list, or there can be possibility that patients are looking for high end advanced treatment, and the treatment provided in the home country was probably not to that extent advanced technology. Maybe the equipment and the infrastructure may not be available, and many a time also could be a reason that the patient want confidentiality. They do not want to undergo a particular type of treatment in their own country. So, what they do, they start looking for reviewing local treatment options of various different places, like taking a second opinion from another place, and then the actual decision making happens. When they evaluate the local healthcare limitations, as I said, long waiting list, non-availability of specialized services, or very high cost, when all these challenges are there in the home country, then the first thought in their head comes about, why not think about taking a treatment in an other country? Let's look at traveling to another country for treatment. Then they start researching for international treatment. They ask their friends and family members, they ask their general practitioner or their specialist doctor whom they are consulting. They start talking to various people to find out what exactly treatment options are available in another country. And also, as it is for every human being, they have to take cost into a major consideration. So they look at which could be a better destination based on their budget, based on their preferences. Once they go through all this entire process, they gather all the information. They gather the information about what exactly the treatment is options available in which country, what could be the cost, all the information. When they think options are available, that is the step when they actually come to a medical value facilitator. By then, they have done their homework. So, can you imagine by the time when a patient is coming to us to seek help, they would have already suffered a medical condition. So, this we always have to keep in mind, that it's already too late for a patient who needs to start an immediate care. So, that is the reason for us it has to be very critical for us to remember how important it is for us to provide timely and immediate response to a patient, because a patient has already undergone an extensive time of taking local treatment and had no remedy, did not get any relief, and then they come to us to seek help. When they land up with us, even then, there are several stages when a patient is with a medical value facilitator. What happens when they comes to us? Again, you can visualize the process that happens to you, and then probably write down in your notebook, is there any step that you're missing, or is there any step that may be added in your process based on your location or based on your country specifications. There could be based on various nationalities, some other process could be there which is added. So make note of it as
Vidya
you're
ji,
watching this presentation.
sorry to interrupt, Vidya ji. Can you little bit add Hindi as well? It would help.
जरूर जरूर
Thank
हाँ
you.
जी जरूर जरूर करूंगी. I'll add a little Hindi in between to our friends who would be definitely benefit from that. तो अभी हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We'll go through the process about how the patient journey starts. And I request all of you to please make notes out of this. First time when they come to you and ask for initial consultation with the medical tourism facilitator like us. What they do at that stage, they bring to us all the medical reports that they have. तो आप समझ सकते हैं तब तक तो ऑलरेडी पेशेंट गुजर चुके होंगे बहुत सारी परेशानियों से. दे वुड हैव गॉन टू फ्यू डिफरेंट डॉक्टर्स इन देयर होम कंट्री. तो इसलिए हमें बहुत जल्दी का वी हैव टू टेक एक्शन. So they submit the medical reports to us, and that's when our job starts. Once the medical reports is submitted to us, submission is done, our work is to compile it properly, ensure all the information is available, ensure if there is anything missing, make sure to ask the patient to give us all the required information, try and take pictures or videos or everything that's possible from a patient. And once you gather all the information, that's when our team takes care of communicating that with the hospital to get an opinion. So we communicate, this information gathering happens. Then our operations team will communicate that with the hospitals to get a medical opinion. And inside the hospital, kya hota hai? There is an international team who takes care of all these inquiries coming to them. And they in turn take these medical reports, and based on the specialty, it could be a cardiac case, it could be neurological case, or it could be an orthopedic case. Depending on the type of treatment, that particular team, the international team within the hospital, communicates with the doctor who is in charge for that specialty for a medical opinion. So doctor then evaluates all the reports, gives a initial medical opinion and a probable approximate treatment plan. They'll give a diagnosis with a treatment plan of this is exactly is required for this and what should be the approximate length of stay. Based on that approximation given by the doctor, the international team within the hospital provides a detailed opinion that will contain main three parts. I'm sure you all have seen the medical opinions. So you have to gather this information very clearly is there should be a medical opinion, there should be a treatment plan, like इस इलाज के लिए क्या अवेलेबल है, इस बीमारी के लिए क्या इलाज अवेलेबल है. So इस इलाज के लिए what will be the cost involved. So they will give us a cost for the treatment. They will also mention what kind of a room it is, how many days the patient will stay, is there an ICU involved, is there any consumables involved, will there be any a surgical procedure that is involved or any other investigations that is involved. All this information will be available in the medical opinion that will be provided by the hospital. And what our team will do is, for our patients, we always like to empower them or give them information of a minimum of 3 different opinions so that they won't waste their time any longer. As I said, the patient has already wasted a lot of time seeking treatment in their home country. And since it was not possible, then they are coming to us seeking help from us, support from us to get as quickly as possible a treatment for them. So if we delay any further, their medical condition gets aggravated. Like if it is a cancer, if it's a stage 1 cancer, the more they delay, there is a potential that it can move to stage 2. So we don't want that kind of a situation happening with the patient. We want to ensure they get a quick treatment. So what we do from our organization, we give them a minimum of 3 different options. We collect the opinion and we compile them everything and give it to the patient. And one more element you always remember here is try and give the opinion to the patient as simple as possible and advise them with a personal consultation with them so that they are more confident about it, because they are not medical people. They do not even have the minimum knowledge like you and me have. They completely do not understand what happens for a treatment. So always I recommend invite the patients over to your office, sit with them and give them a detailed consultation about what exactly happens, what is the opinion doctor has given, what is the treatment plan, what is the length of stay, all the process explain to them, and that gives them much more confidence. And it in at this phase the patient and the family will have a better information for them to make a decision. मगर फिर क्या होता है, कुछ पेशेंट्स को फिर भी डाउट रहता है, क्योंकि दूर कहीं और जगह पे जाना है ना, दे हैव टू ट्रैवल टू अ फार अवे अननोन कंट्री। ये तो उनके लिए बहुत मुश्किल डिसीजन मेकिंग है। तो इसके लिए हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, थैंक्स टू द टेक्नोलॉजी वी कैन डू वर्चुअल कंसल्टेशन। सो सीइंग इज बिलीविंग। अपने आप सामने देखेंगे, डॉक्टर को देखेंगे ऑन अ वीडियो कॉल, दैट विल एनहांस देयर कॉन्फिडेंस। एंड उनको बहुत अच्छा लगेगा कि यही डॉक्टर है हमें देखने वाले। एंड व्हेन द डॉक्टर एक्सप्लेन्स टू देम लाइक अ प्रॉपर कंसल्टेशन that this is their medical condition, this is a treatment, and this is actually the outcome, this is a success rate, ये सब जब डॉक्टर खुद बताते हैं ना पेशेंट को, उनको बहुत हिम्मत आएगा, उनको यकीन हो जाएगा कि यहीं पे हमें जाना है। So this is another step you can add depending on the patient requirement and the hospital's availability as virtual consultation. So this is the first phase that happens. आप देखिए कितना लंबा प्रोग्राम है हमें करने के लिए, बहुत सारे काम है ना। इसलिए मैं बताती रहती हूँ, ये कॉम्प्लेक्स सिचुएशन है और डायनामिक सिचुएशन है। इसलिए हमें, एंड ऑल्सो व्हेन दिस इज कॉम्प्लेक्स, it makes it more interesting for us to work. So we are involved at every stage to ensure patients get excellent care. Then when we move to the next step, the planning starts. आपने वर्चुअल कंसल्टेशन दे दिया पेशेंट को, और पेशेंट्स एंड द फैमिली को बहुत यकीन हो गया, आपके ऊपर ट्रस्ट है, डॉक्टर के ऊपर ट्रस्ट आ गया, और वो कहने लगे कि हमें यही हॉस्पिटल में जाना है। वी हैव मेड अ डिसीजन, पक्का कर लिया हमें इस हॉस्पिटल में जाना है। When they made a decision, that is when you collect their passport copies and make plan to get a visa invitation letter from the hospital. So passport copy आप बेच के visa invitation letter मंगवाएंगे। Once you get the visa invitation letter, official invitation letter from the hospital, then your office and you help them to secure the medical visa. So it has to be a medical visa for the patient and a medical attender visa for one accompaniment who will go along with the patient. And if there is many other people who are accompanying them, they also require the relevant visas. So you have to ensure you support the patient and the family to get all the visas. Then you help them to book the flights. Before booking the flight, ensure in the back end, entire process is taken care in terms of is the particular doctor availability is there, admission team to be informed, appointment to be booked, our operation team to be completely informed about the patient travel. With that ongoing consultation with the entire team, make sure book the flights so that we don't do wrong deed, we don't do situations where there cannot be any mishaps. अगर ऐसा ना हो जाए कि हमने फ्लाइट बुक कर दिया और वहां पे कोई बड़ा पब्लिक हॉलिडे आ गया, नहीं तो डॉक्टर छुट्टी पे चले गए, ऐसा सिचुएशन हो गया तो इमेजिन अ पेशेंट बहुत दूर से लंबा सफर करके दे ट्रैवल एंड गो टू अ प्लेस एंड वहां पे डॉक्टर ही अवेलेबल नहीं है। हम भूल गए उसको चेक करने में, this becomes a big problem. So ensure all this doesn't happen before booking the flights. आपके टीम से बात करके, the back end team से बात करके, operation team से बात करके, everything make sure it's available. फिर उनको फ्लाइट्स बुक कीजिए, उनको कॉन्फिडेंस दीजिए कि सब ठीक हो जाएगा. And here another element to make sure is some of the patients might have to go on a wheelchair. Some of the patients might have to go on a stretcher because they are not mobile. उनको चलने के लिए नहीं होगा. And some patients might be intubated, means they would have a tube in there, or tracheostomy would have been done for them. Means there will be a hole in their throat to give the oxygenation to be done and to feed them. So if there is a critical case, you have to ensure some of the patients might need a medical team to accompany them. डॉक्टर हो सकते हैं, नहीं तो एक नर्स को जाना होगा, नहीं तो if it's a wheelchair bound patient, you have to do another medical approval form for the airline. Every airline will have a specific form to be taken as approval. ये सब steps हमें भूलना नहीं चाहिए, बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि हम ये सब इग्नोर कर दिया, नहीं तो हमें जानकारी ही नहीं था. We were not aware of it. Then what happens? Patients, after all the struggle, land up at the airport and they get rejected to be boarded to the flight. आप देखिए कितना मुश्किल होता है. Patient is already sick. They are suffering. The family members would have actually taken leave from their work. They would have made a lot of arrangements to travel. सफर करना इतना आसान नहीं है ना. हम लोग जानते हैं, एक हॉलिडे के लिए जाने के लिए, छुट्टी में जाने के लिए हम लोग कितना प्रिपरेशन करते हैं. इमेजिन दे आर पेशेंट्स, वो इलाज के लिए जा रहे हैं और दूसरी जगह जा रहे हैं. इफ दे हैव सच अ बिग प्लान, दे हैव एट द बैक एंड, उनको भी बहुत सारे अरेंजमेंट करना होता है ना. इसलिए हमें एज अ ऑपरेशंस टीम, वी शुड नॉट इग्नोर एनी एलिमेंट. मेक श्योर ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंटेशन इज टेकन केयर and then make the flights available for them. Once the flights is booked, make sure the ticket copies are sent to the operations team in India and arrange the airport pickup. And if possible, give them a SIM card if available, if that is a possibility, so that they are easily accessible on internet the moment they land. Because one thing makes anybody feel safe is the moment they are available online to communicate with somebody. उनको क्या हो जाता है, वहां पे लैंड करते ही उनका इंटरनेट काम नहीं करेगा और दे विल नॉट बी अवेलेबल ऑन रोमिंग सर्विसेज. तो उनको इतना डर लगने लगता है. एंड ऑल्सो देर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी दैट they can go and land up on a wrong place, go to a wrong window, or all those elements can happen. तो हमें इस टाइम पे क्या करना होगा? मेक श्योर एवरीथिंग इज टेकन केयर. Our team will hold a placard with the patient's name and all the details, so that waiting to receive them. And before receiving them, before all this process, ensure that the patient's accommodation is booked. If it's a patient and one attendant, probably they go for admission directly to the hospital, or they book a hotel, stay at a hotel, and next day there is an appointment as an outpatient in the hospital. All these various permutations and combinations हो सकता है. तो इसके लिए हमें पहले से ही पेशेंट के फैमिली के साथ बात करके और हमारे हॉस्पिटल के ऑपरेशंस टीम के साथ बात करके पूरा अरेंजमेंट करके, based on the patient's budgets, we need to book a hotel accommodation for them. Then the transport obviously had to be booked. And when you book a transport, make sure how many people are coming. If there are about 4 people are coming and we booked a small car to receive them, then again it's not possible. Or make sure if that is a critically ill patient, we need to book an ambulance to receive the patient from the airport. तो ये सब जानकारी रखते हुए हमें ये सब अरेंजमेंट करना होगा. And then pre-travel medical preparation are done. Sometimes there will be a restriction that they need to stop a particular type of medication that they are taking, or they might have to start a new type of medication. All this in consultation with the patient and the doctor, coordinate करते हुए हम लोग pre-travel का पूरा medical preparation patient को करके we will make them travel. So imagine now patient is on the flight and they are traveling to the destination. Abhi dekhte hain what could be the next step, what happens to the patient. Abhi safar khatam ho gaya, patient landed, Imagine that patient landed at Mumbai, आ गए वहां पे. Airport pickup and accommodation. So our team, happily with a smiling face, in enthusiasm, they are there to receive the patient. So airport pickup will happen and directly they'll be taken to the accommodation, either to the hotel accommodation or to the hospital, depending on the type of arrangement that is done. After this step is taken care, there will be an in-person consultation with the doctor. Abhi tak to, they had only probably had once a virtual consultation. In many cases, even that may not happen. So when they are in the hospital, doctor के साथ direct consultation होता है, admission होता है. Admission के बाद there will be a detailed evaluation, because then the doctor takes over, the medical team takes over, and then our responsibility will become a less here, and the more responsibility will be on the shoulders of the hospital team. But having said that, our close connection with them will be there on a daily basis to make sure that everything is taken care for them. Here, once the detailed evaluation is done from the doctor now confirms what will be the medical procedure. Because in the initial phase, जब उन्होंने opinion दिया था, तो an opinion, approximate opinion दिया था कि ये हो सकता है, ये treatment कर सकते हैं. मगर reports देख के तो कोई भी डॉक्टर पक्का नहीं बोल सकते हैं ना कि यही होगा. So they have to physically see the patient and do a proper evaluation. So once that is happened, the doctor confirms that what will be the medical procedure, and they start doing that medical procedure. It could be a surgery, it could be a therapy, a treatment, it could be like a rehabilitation, anything that is required for the patient based on their specialty that they have come for. Once the patient undergoes the medical procedure, then there will be a rest for some time for them, in terms of the patient has to undergo a post-medical, the patient has to undergo a post-treatment care. The patients, actually the treatment has to be done after, as soon as the patient finishes surgery. There has to be a proper care to the patient in terms of whether they need a physiotherapy or any kind of rehabilitation. Once that is done, the patient does the initial recovery. बहुत सारे टाइम पे तो लॉट ऑफ सर्जरी, इवन द हिप रिप्लेसमेंट और नी रिप्लेसमेंट, द सेम डे और द सेकेंड डे पेशेंट चलने लगते हैं, दे स्टार्ट मूविंग अराउंड. दैट इज अ लेवल ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट अवेलेबल नाउ विथ ऑल द एडवांसमेंट दैट इज हैपनिंग. And then there will be a proper follow-up by the doctor who will come and visit them. And the rehabilitation services also will begin in terms of ensuring patient has the best care. And now the next step, what happens is, पेशेंट का इलाज हो गया, ट्रीटमेंट हो गया, जो सर्जरी करना था वो भी खत्म हो गया. अभी उनका वापस अपने बैक टू देयर कंट्री जाने का टाइम आता है. So at this stage, what we do their travel preparation to return back. And here it's very important that aftercare plan has to be done. They will be given a detailed discharge summary from the hospital, and we will hand over them the complete medical records and the reports for what treatment they underwent. This is also very important. And as a team, what we will make sure from the facilitator point of view, we'll make sure they have a good quality of service, they have complete safety. We will make sure all that. We'll also make sure that their cultural and language barriers are taken care. Many patients who come to another country from the host country, like they might require a translator. So at every phase, we make sure we provide them. We also make sure they get legal and ethical issues if there are some, because they come from different cultural backgrounds, or there could be any legal issues in terms of documentation. So we will be always available with them to provide them the complete support. So in summary, we will be, as a facilitator, a complete support system is what we will provide to the patient. So हमने पूरा patient का journey देख लिया, from the beginning what happens until they go back to their hometown. तो अभी देखेंगे हम major specialties क्या होता है. What are the major specialties? They actually travel to another country. It can be more than this, but some of the major ones are cardiovascular, that is heart conditions के लिए, orthopedic, cancer treatment, fertility treatments के लिए जाते हैं, cosmetic and plastic surgery, डेंटल केयर के लिए जाते हैं क्योंकि कुछ पे इट्स नॉट अप्रूव्ड बाय इंश्योरेंस, इसके लिए जाते हैं, बेरियाट्रिक सर्जरी for weight loss के लिए होगा, नहीं तो a lot of conditions like diabetes and all these elements are recommending for bariatric. Definitely, organ transplant is another major area where patients will travel. Ophthalmology, a major different kinds of eye treatments, and neurological disorders. These are the major specialties on the whole for which patient travel from one country to another. And this is the step where, as a medical value travel facilitator, we need to remember, because we are not doctors, we are not healthcare professionals in terms of clinical professionals. हमने पढ़ाई नहीं किया ना मेडिकल फील्ड में, तो हमें क्या है, we could be from a travel background or a business background or any kind of background we come from. It's important for us to understand a basic terminology about medical field. The first one is diagnosis. We need to understand, because when you receive the medical report from the patient, this is what we need to understand. What is the diagnosis? What is the patient suffering from? What is a local doctor has told what patient is suffering from? That diagnosis ko jana zaruri hai. These are the names you will hear on a daily basis. And treatment plan, obviously, which will come from the treating hospital. Prognosis means what will be the outcome, कितना हिसाब से वो ठीक हो सकता है, what will be the outcome for the surgery that they are undergoing. So what is the इलाज का result क्या होगा, that is the prognosis the patient will be expecting. And symptoms is another word we always hear. क्या क्या symptoms उनको दिख रहा है, signs क्या है, like various other signs that patients are showing, like numbness in the hand or twitching of the eye, वो सब हो सकता था. These are the signs that they would have. We will also hear about laboratory tests. Patients always come and give us a laboratory test. Radiology imaging studies. That means X-ray, MRI, CT scan, ultrasound. All these are radiology images. And we will also have medication, because patients would be taking various kinds of medicines. So we'll have to deal with those pharmaceuticals. And surgery is another element where patients undergo different kinds of surgical procedures. Rehabilitation is another important element in various specialties, especially orthopedic and neurology. It can be even on oncology or cardiac as well. It's not just physiotherapy, but beyond that, to provide a rehabilitation for a surgical patient to have a complete recovery. Could be a non-surgical or a surgical patient, is a therapy that would be given to a patient to have full recovery. And follow-up, it's another important element. Even when the patient went back to their home country, it becomes our responsibility to ensure we constantly follow up with the patient. And now an interesting factor that all of us have to remember is human anatomy. We always think that why should we need to know all this? I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to treat the patient. Why should we know? Because there are many cases where patient will come with a report. Patient is also do not know anything about it, but there could be a wrong judgment of sending the document to a wrong department or a wrong specialty. So it's important for us to understand some basic human anatomy. So in the picture, you can very clearly see. So the first one is musculoskeletal system, where it involves the complete skeletal system for us, the bones. Like in this specialty, you might get patients who needs, knee replacement or a hip replacement or any kind of bone problems, like could be a ankle issue or a wrist issue or a shoulder problem or spinal issues, any kind of spinal issues. All these cases come under musculoskeletal system. And the next one is cardiovascular system. Here, everything related to heart functions and all the blood system that is running through our body, that will be taken care by the cardiovascular system. Then comes the digestive system. Whenever some patients will come to us and just tell us they don't have any reports, they have gone to different places, they did not collect the report, but they say they have stomach pain, they have stomach problem or bloating problem, that kind of a situation, then you have to refer to a digestive system, the doctor which deals with the gastroenterology. Guys, digestive system is the system it takes care of our stomach, which takes care of the food digestion. So that is a part we need to be aware and we need to redirect that kind of a cases to a particular department. Respiratory system, the system which takes care of our breathing, where the oxygen goes, and then the lungs are involved in the respiratory system. So that is something that we need to be aware of. Respiratory system takes care of the breathing pattern. And then the nervous system. Nervous system is the complete body has got neuro system, that the nerves are there all throughout our body, and the brain. The brain actually is the central system for the nervous system, which is connected through all the nerves. That is when you touch, you feel it. That's the whole process that happens with the nervous system in the body. And the renal system. Usually people get confused with this as well, with the urology and nephrology. There'll be always a bit of a confusion. Renal system is a system which takes care of our kidneys and the processes that happens with the cleansing process that happens within our kidneys. So that is a process which involved in the renal system, involved with the kidneys, that we need to be clearly aware of. And then comes the reproductive system. In the reproductive system, we might end up seeing patients with fertility issues or urology issues with some male reproductive problem. So this is a system where the couple are trying to conceive and have a baby. They have a problem with pregnancy. So this is a reproductive system where we can help patients who are coming with this kind of issue, or it can be issues where women have problem with their gynecological problem. That kind of all these issues could be taken care by the reproductive system. Or when it comes to men, it could be related to a urological condition. That is also like a prostate. All these things can come into urology. So there will be a sometimes overlap of the departments that we need to clearly understand. In the reproductive system, what are the elements that will be taken care? A urologist will be involved, an IVF specialist will be involved, an obs and gynae specialist will be involved. So the entire reproductive system will give us that kind of a knowledge. And then comes integumentary system. Integumentary system is the largest system in our body because it covers the entire body, which is the skin, the nails, as well as the hair. All these elements, all these three elements fall under integumentary system. Anybody coming with the problem of the skin diseases or nail issues or hair issues will fall under this category. And then comes endocrine system. Everything that to do with our hormones, including diabetes problem, thyroid problem, even testosterone problem, adrenaline problem, all these kind of hormonal issues can be involved with the endocrine system. And then finally, the immune system. We all saw during COVID how everybody were concerned about their immune system, and this has become a much more relevant right now because everybody are more and more aware to maintain our immune system, which is our fighting mechanism to protect ourselves from external infection that can come to us. So these are the major elements of human anatomy that we need to be aware of. So please keep in note and have a little more study about this so that when you deal with the patient, it becomes easier for you. And why does patients explore for different options to go to from different country? They got an opinion from one country, probably they're thinking about another country. There are various factors for that. ये सवाल तो हमें बार बार लगता होगा ना, मैंने भी इतना information दिया, patient decision क्यों नहीं कर रहे? We have to look from their perspective as well. Number one is cost savings. शायद उनको लगता होगा कि ये ज्यादा है costing, so they are looking for another option. And they're also looking for an access to a specialized treatment. तो कहीं पे सुना होगा कि there could be a robotic treatment available somewhere or something else is available. तो उसके, they are trying to look for that kind of a specialized treatment. And shorter waiting times for sure, because if there is a waiting time in one country, they would like to go to another place where this immediate attention will be given. And high quality care. They're always patients looking for options because they want a better quality of care. Another important element is patients look for privacy and discretion. Many of the countries, many of the societies still have some kind of a taboo when it comes to fertility treatments or cosmetic procedures or any that kind of a procedure. Patient want it to be confidential. So that is one of the reasons they will look for other options. And they also want to combine travel with their holiday travel. So whichever country they're traveling as a holiday, they are exploring opportunities for treatment in that particular country. And another issue can happen is the cultural and language preferences, linguistic preferences. It could be a patient coming from a French speaking African country and they want only a place where there's somebody who speaks French. So that is natural for them to feel comfortable. That could be one of the reasons. And there could be some places where there is a legal or a regulatory environment. That means there could be a challenge to get visa to a certain country. Getting a visa could be a challenge. All these elements can make a decision. And accreditation is another important. Patients now are so well informed with the advent of information on internet. Patients want to make sure that accreditation is there. And patients go with personal recommendations and word of mouth. This is a very strong marketing element because when somebody from their friends or family had a good experience, they will trust that better than anywhere else. And there could be government and institutional support. They're supported by, sponsored by their local government to go to a particular country. That's one of the reasons that they'll go there. And if we quickly run through a medical tourism facilitator as an international patient services, what are the areas we need to cover? We understood the patient journey, but here we need to understand what are the areas we need to cover. Travel, as I said, airline, you need to look after local transport, you need to look after hotel for them. And healthcare, we need to identify a good hospital for them, which is relevant to their specialty. We negotiate for them, we monitor their quality of care. Plus, we arrange for them in terms of the tourism or a concierge. We arrange translator, a personalized service for whatever they require, and a representative will be available for them all the time throughout their stay in that particular country. And if they are related for a tourism related, they want a package to go somewhere around for sightseeing, that also should be arranged. And we as a support system to ensure we provide them all the legal documents that is required, like a proper visa maintenance and everything, and renewal of the visa if their stay is extended, patient records, reports. And if the patient is requesting for an insurance claim submission, we need to ensure that we provide all these documents for them. So this is the entire process we will do from our side. And this, who can be a very efficient facilitator? Till now, what we saw is who can be a MVT facilitator. All this process is important. But ये काफी नहीं है ना कि हम लोग सिर्फ एक MVT facilitator बन गए. हमें efficient MVT facilitator बनना है, बढ़िया सर्विस देना है, नंबर 1 बनना है हमारे मार्केट में. If we have to do that, we have to go beyond all these obvious arrangements. Airport air ticket तो कोई भी कर लेगा, visa तो कोई भी कर लेगा, accommodation तो कोई भी book कर लेगा, hospital का appointment भी कोई भी कर लेगा. मगर हमें क्या करना है? Meticulously we have to deliver every point to provide an impeccable service. ये बहुत जरूरी है. That is when we stand out as better than everybody else. That's when we provide a great relationship management. एक बार वो patient हमारे पास आके मिलके गए, then they should think that they should not think about anything else. They should think that he is my healthcare partner. They should think about us like that. और इतना भरोसा होना चाहिए कि हम कहीं और नहीं जाएंगे. This is what makes a efficient MVT facilitator. And the primary services, as I said, we will provide for them every facility that is required as a facilitator to ensure they have a smooth service, educate them about everything. We will negotiate on behalf of the patient with the hospital, with the accommodation, with the transport to make sure that they get the best price, because they are going to a different country where they don't have any familiarity. They don't know anything. So we help them with complete budgeting to make sure they get the best price. And we assist them with every step for their travel and tourism, any sightseeing they want to do, and the post operative care. Even when they return back to their home country, we will continue to be in touch with them to provide them pharmaceuticals required or physiotherapy that is required, any kind of follow up that is required. We'll continue to stay with them. This is the whole process we provide as a medical value travel. And when we talk about India, why choose India? Why is India so important? And what is the benefit of choosing India is cost effective treatments, unparalleled, unmatched, high quality of service provided at very reasonable, affordable cost, extremely high quality care on par with the world standard, highly skilled medical professionals, everywhere popular because the volume of cases that Indian doctors are seeing, it makes them the best in the world, and wide range of medical services available. You name it. Anything that's available in the world right now is available in India. We don't have to look anywhere else. That's the wide range which is available in India, and shorter or almost nil waiting time. I don't think आप सब लोगों ने अभी तक इंडिया से डील किया होगा ना. We have all the facilitators on board with us now. I don't think anybody has a feeling that we have to wait for an appointment. There's always immediately consultations are available. Huge amount of tourism opportunity available because the landscape of India has everything starting from snow peak mountains to desert to valleys, and everything that is required to explore historical, everything that is required is available in India. And there is huge amount of government support because Indian government also, along with the other state governments, recognizes medical tourism as an important industry and providing is good support for that. And where can you get language proficiency of people speaking multiple languages? You will get, apart from having official translators, we do have people available in India who speak multiple languages as well. This kind of a proficiency is available in India, which makes it the number one country to aim for a high quality treatment. And another important factor, this slide, I think you need to freeze it in your screenshot that you, if you could take, is I know this is a business that we are doing. It's not a charitable work that we do, and we are not doing it free of cost to the patient. Even though we don't charge any additional services from the patient, we do have paybacks or we do get paid for our services. But it's very critical in healthcare. Here, we are not selling a product. So it's very critical that we have to prioritize trust on top of all the gains of commissions or monetary benefits that we get out of this service that we do. Why it's very important is once we have this transparency in the communication and we provide all this service to the patients, we build a strong relationship, not just with the patient, also with the hospitals, all the medical providers, healthcare providers. Then we become the best bridge between the patients and the healthcare providers. And then, the bridge, we never get lost in the flow. So the flow of monetary gains will be constant and ongoing once we become a strong bridge between the both. So to establish a long-term relationship, focus on the service, focus on building the trust on both the parties. That is when the monetary benefits will be ongoing. If we do the other way around, we will not have a long-term vision of growing the business as well. So this is another important element we all have to keep in consideration. And a patient, we just have to look at them as a medical record number. This is very important. Even for the patient, my colleagues who work in the hospital, I always tell them, don't look at patient as a file. They are not just a medical record number. They have human beings who are behind that suffering with an ailment. So we need to consider that as well as a medical value travel facilitators is their health and safety is very important. We need to ensure that we take them to the best treatment possible. We have to ensure that their financial worries are taken care. We have to give them the cost of treatment transparently, not to give them any wrong information or not to give them over emphasizing in terms of availability of services. We have to guide them if there is a possibility of insurance coverage so that they can get some refund available. We have to give them a clear insights about the logistics, because some places there cannot be a direct flight, or what kind of facilities of travel opportunities available. We have to be very, very clear. There could be language barrier which might make people misunderstand each other. We need to clearly understand that. And the cultural differences is another important thing that we need to remember. Patient is coming from a different country with a totally different background to another country, so that we need to bridge the gap. And important is the legal documentation issues. They'll be always worried of what kind of medical report we have to take, what kind of legal rights do we have. We are in a different country. What are our rights and all that? And when the patient travels, they can go, probably patient along with that one person or two or three members can go. They don't have the full support system of ecosystem that they have in their home country. So they can have loneliness, they have dependence on us, that can scare them sometimes. उनको बहुत ऐसा लगेगा कि यहाँ पे हम अकेले हैं, कौन है हमें देखभाल करने के लिए। ऐसे माहौल पे हमें उनके साथ हाथ से हाथ मिला के उनका सपोर्ट करना चाहिए. That is very important from a patient point of view. Patient will have high expectation from us. They want to improve their health. They have the better outcome of their health. They expect professionalism from us and expertise. They are trusting us. हम पे भरोसा करके आ रहे हैं ना. So they think that we are the best people to guide them. तो हमें expertise होना चाहिए. We need to learn ourselves, upgrade ourselves, and constantly support the patient. And they will be expecting that we will save their cost. So cost effectiveness, हमसे वो उम्मीद करते हैं कि हम उनका मनी का वैल्यू करेंगे. तो ट्रांसपेरेंसी होना बहुत ही जरूरी है. एंड दे एक्सपेक्ट होलिस्टिक केयर, अ कॉम्प्रहेंसिव केयर. ऐसा नहीं है कि पेशेंट का यहाँ पे सर्जरी हो गया और हम भूल गए. We need to make sure that if they need anything else, if they have pain, they might need another holistic treatment, Ayurveda or homeopathy or anything else. The complete care that is required for them, we need to take care with the personalized attention. And we have that, what they expect from us is complete recovery and rehabilitation. And they have lot of psychological and emotional stress as well. This is also हमें बहुत जरूरी है जानने के लिए. Don't just look at them as a business opportunity or a medical record number again. We need to give them hope and optimism. Don't worry, इसके लिए बहुत इलाज है. हमने बहुत सारे केसेस हॉस्पिटल में देखा है. इसके लिए बहुत वेरी गुड सक्सेस रेट है. हमारे डॉक्टर ने इतना सारा इलाज किया है. Give them hope and optimism because they are worried about their or their family members' health. They come with a lot of fear and uncertainty. ऐसा क्यों होता है? Because they're coming from a different country to another country. उनको separation का anxiety होगा क्योंकि वो घर पे उनके family members को छोड़ के आए हैं. उसका भी उनमें उनके मन में बहुत fear रहेगा. And they also have this determination and resolve to cure. उस टाइम पे क्या हो सकता है? बहुत जिद कर सकते हैं, थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट भी हो सकते हैं, गुस्से से बात कर सकते हैं. ये सब हो सकता है पेशेंट पर्सपेक्टिव. सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड देयर साइकोलॉजी एंड रेस्पॉन्ड अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट. And they expect trust from us, and we need to have patience, resilience, because we are true professionals. We are the experts in this field, so we have to provide a complete faith in this entire process for the patient. So what we need to understand is these aspects will give them a better assistance. So when we understand all this, we provide a good support to the patient. And don't forget, it's not just the patient. बहुत सारे cases में patient unhappy हो जाते हैं क्योंकि patient के family members को हमने ignore कर दिया. यहाँ पे बहुत जरूरी है पेशेंट के फैमिली मेंबर्स को भी अच्छी तरह से देखभाल करना है. उनका अकोमोडेशन ठीक है क्या नहीं, उनका खाना ठीक से मिल रहा है, और डू दे हैव ट्रांसपोर्ट इश्यूज. उनका इमोशनल, लाइक पेशेंट सर्जरी में अंदर चले गए, वो अकेले बाहर बैठे हैं, नहीं तो पेशेंट आईसीयू में बैठे हैं, तो अकेले जब वो बाहर बैठे हैं तो उनके दिमाग में क्या हो रहा है, उनका क्या एंजाइटी है. जाके सिर्फ उनके पास बैठ के इवन इफ यू हैव अ 2 मिनट का कॉन्वर्जेशन, उनको बहुत अच्छा लगेगा. And there could be cultural differences. वो बहुत अलग जगह पे आ रहे हैं ना, तो they would be wearing different kinds of outfit. उनका people would be looking at it differently. ये सब consideration रख के हमें उनके साथ डील करना होगा. तो पेशेंट फैमिली मेंबर्स को भी अच्छी तरह से देखभाल करना होगा. एंड कम्युनिकेट एंड शेयर ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन एक्यूरेटली विद द फैमिली मेंबर्स. हमें कुछ छुपाना नहीं चाहिए. एंड दैट इज व्हेन दे डेवलप मोर ट्रस्ट एंड कॉन्फिडेंस इन अस. एंड प्रैक्टिकल असिस्टेंस देना चाहिए, कुछ सपोर्ट चाहिए. अगर बहुत सारे वजन वाला लगेज है, नहीं तो व्हील चेयर पुश करना है, वी डोंट हैव टू हेजिटेट. गिव देम एक्चुअल प्रॉपर केयर एंड कंटिन्यूटी ऑफ केयर ऑन गोइंग. वापस जाने के बाद भी उनको ऐसा लगना चाहिए कि ये हमारे देखभाल कर रहे हैं, दे आर विथ अस. This is the level of care we have to provide. So addressing all these elements, we will be able to give the best service to the patient and the family. And always remember, when you look at the markets, every country has a potential for both inbound and outbound. That is where you see now several countries are looking for inbound as well. They are developing the services, but doesn't mean that they have an outbound opportunity. Every country has this opportunity. So we have to have this well coordinated process. I think I've covered all these elements, so I'll skip this. But remember, look at this picture here. It sometimes can look like a maze that we are going through to reach the end. But when we have a proper planning, proper coordinated structure strategy in our hand, easily you'll be able to navigate and reach the goal that is required for you. And here comes the etiquettes and the best practices that we all need to understand and practically implement. Remember, we are in healthcare and we are providing high level of treatment that is required for patients who are struggling traveling from one country to another. So we have to have a professional conduct, behave ourselves in a very professional manner. Our communication has to be to a high standard, accurate, honest, and transparent, clear communication, and providing the language support. We also need to provide patient support by being there available for personalized care. And we have to provide partner facility coordination, because we are not just dealing with the patient, right? There will be a partner who involved sending us a patient, and we need to deal with the hospitals as well. So coordinating with everybody that are involved in the patient care, we need to provide that. And we need to provide post-operative treatment care. And like what we are doing right now, empowering our partners as a motto of Simplify MVT Academy, it's important for every facilitator to have a continuous learning for professional development, because this is an ongoing process. It's not that one time we learned and it's finished, because medical field is always progressing. So that will give us a lot of empathy and compassion towards the patient. So every patient is our brand ambassador. So never forget that every patient who will go out after the treatment can talk good about us or bad about us. So always remember, they will be our important brand ambassadors to enhance our reputation in the community. And this field has a huge opportunity and huge potential. The growth is emerging in several markets. There's always also technological advancement, because telemedicine, telehealth, and with artificial intelligence coming up with medical robotics, there's a huge opportunity for us. And interestingly, probably after the pandemic, there's a lot of focus on wellness, because people want to make sure that they keep their health in a good way. So there is a preventative care, holistic care. So you can have patients who want to go for wellness packages as well. And there is a lot of focus on fertility treatment, dental treatment. We don't want to necessarily call them as patients, but you could call them guests, clients, customer, whatever you want to call them. So these are the various opportunities available. Huge market specialization is available. And there's always also opportunity in accreditation. We can become quality officers. Those are the different, and government support systems and policies. Those collaborative opportunities are huge, in which we can have our presence available there. Like, our CEO is a part of FHWP as well as Maharashtrian system of medical value travel. So he provides the inputs for regulation as well. Like that, will have a lot of opportunities. We'll have strategic partners and collaborations across cross-border. There's lots of conferences, health tourism, expos, and all that happening. Public-private partnerships will be happening. These are the opportunities available. And marketing and branding of these services to various markets is another huge opportunity. Digital marketing with progressing. I'm sure there are certain countries who work purely on digital basis to get patients from across the world and providing concierge services as well. Remember, we are a travel company, hospitality company, and a healthcare company combined together. Imagine the scope of services that's available for us. It's huge. So the future is bright with numerous opportunities for growth and innovation. So if we provide our full-fledged focus on it, we will be at a high level in this industry. Of course, like any other industry, there are some risks and challenges, but these can be mitigated. इसको हम पार करके भी जा सकते हैं. Quality safety का, we have to ensure about that. Post-operative care ka, we have to ensure legal and ethical issues. Make sure every patient goes with a valid visa, valid documentation, and travel ka risks jo hota hai. Every patient might have some kind of an allergies or some kind of a possibility that they might have some risk. ये सब देखते हुए थोड़ा सा challenges को mitigate करते हुए हम लोग we can keep progressing forward. And in the end, we come to the last segment where we talk about the cultural understanding is very important because patients come from a totally different background. So always we have to learn to respect them. We can't hold on to our own individual belief, our own faith. We should always respect whatever faith and belief the patient come from. Also accommodate their religious requirement, their dietary requirement, because the patients we go from my place, they always look for Arabic food, halal food, that kind of lifestyle preferences they would have. They require prayer rooms or prayer mats and things like that. We need to also communicate with the doctors about the cultural differences and promote this diversity. It's beautiful when people from different countries come together. It provides inclusion, and the staff also feel very beautiful about serving such patients. And the important is to deliver patient-centered care. And then this requires us to be very sensitive, respect with a lot of commitment. And remember this very important line is, friends, we are not just doing medical travel, as a definition said, a journey for a treatment. It's not just limited to that. That's not the only factor. We are providing a pathway to healing, hope, and global wellness, because one patient who is struggling to find a treatment, if we are successful to give them an excellent treatment, he goes back and provides a socio-economic and political impact in his own country. So it's on a larger perspective. It's not just a journey of a patient for treatment. If you look at it, it's a pathway for healing, for hope, and a global wellness. So this is a huge industry that we are into. We all need to be extremely proud and feel privileged about it. And I know it took a lot of time, extended time for completing this presentation. Thank you all for listening patiently and being with us. And we open for discussion. Any questions, feel free to raise your hands or drop a message in the comment box, and we'll be more than happy to take your questions and answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vidya ji. This has been an excellent presentation. I've been doing this MVT for last 10 years, and I can feel what you've gone through. And this is the very elaborate presentation. I've been texting you that please move fast.
I know.
I know
I know. I think each subject पे हम लोग एक सेशन कर सकते हैं. इतना deep है, इतना discussion हो सकता है. But I think आगे जाके हम लोग करेंगे कि एक topic लेंगे और एक में ही deep जाएंगे.
Right. So I know, Alan, this is like आपने कहीं पे एक maze दिखाया था, but actually, you should also show the opposite side of it. People think it is a very easy business. It's a very clear business, But when you just enter it, it becomes a maze for you.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yes, already Zahir Bhai has asked some questions
Haji.
that I will answer. For the entire, all the participants, for the question and answer, I see most of our partners are from Bangladesh.
Hmm.
And probably I am more subject matter expert for
Hmm.
Bangladesh. So that's where I will take up the questions.
Please.
Before taking Zahir Bhai's question, there is Mr. Kushagra's question. How do we discover our patients for our MVT?
Hmm.
Yeah. So this seems to be your question asking how do you source patients?
Correct.
If you can ask me, I can allow you to unmute. Are you there?
Kushagra.
Let me find out him and unmute. Yes.
Hey, thanks for this call. So I am just a graduate, recent graduate. I was just exploring this medical tourism field. So
Okay.
I, so I am really interested in this field. Like I'm really passionate about the healthcare space. So I was trying to find out where the right opportunities are. So I found the sector really exciting, like helping people from other countries build like increasing employment in our country. So it's like a good cause. So I just wanted to know how do you start with this journey?
Okay. So Kushagra, first of all, I'm very glad that you attended the session. And I hope the session was very informative for you.
Yeah, that's true.
To answer your question, how do you source your patient? Multiple ways. Okay. There are in a very commercial language, it is a B2B and B2C. Where B2C you do a digital marketing, you do a offline activities to source your patient. Okay. Visit those countries, meet people there, meet patients there, and then source your patient. And the other is you get into the ecosystem like we do. We work with several partners. We work with several people who actually does a lot of good work in managing and helping patients in their country. And then you become, as in we become their helping hand in the managing country and the treating country. So these are the larger two roles of or two ways of doing or sourcing a patient.
And it could be on a digital mode as well. You could have
That's
a digital
easily
presence.
digital mode as well, right?
हो सकता है, वो भी हो सकता है. Hmm.
Okay. Kushagra, did we answer you?
Yeah, that answers me. So
All right.
if I had to start with this, like I want to like explore the market, like how can I provide them service, talk to few customers. So what would be a right approach
See,
to this
ideally,
problem?
you should start digitally because you don't have any connection outside. You can start digitally, which would be less costly to you. But over the time, you will have to go offline. Digital will not help you to scale. All the people say digital is easy to scale, but it is a difficult because this involves a lot of trust. This involves a lot of physical connection between the patient and a service provider. So you can start with digital to generate the lead and talk to them. That will give you idea, and then later on, once you um, have some money to invest or have some business, you can start going to countries.
He could also use our technology of Simplify MVT for the process support.
Yes. So we can give you process support that we can take offline.
Yeah.
Uh, in this knowledge session, it is completely free. So you just take the knowledge. Saurabh Bhai is from our team who will get back to you. If you can
Hmm.
share your number, he will tell you how we can help you in the process.
Got it. And why is this necessary to go offline? Why can't it be fully digital?
There are companies who are doing completely digital work. It's not that they are not doing it. But again, after a certain scale, you will have to go offline because unless you, it's like a telemedicine. People thought telemedicine will be skyrocketed post COVID. After a couple of years, it fell down because the patients wants that trust, and digitally trust build करना बहुत difficult है.
And in healthcare, when patient is undergoing a serious health condition, a physical contact of patient having a consultation is very critical. They want to see that tangibleness is very important. That's when they can make a decision. So that is the reason, one of the factors. It's not like buying a product, right? They need to deal with their health. So that is one of the reasons it didn't take off on a digital
Even
process.
if it is a product or service, even if you buy a service online and
Hmm.
it costing you your life, then it is
Yes,
okay. This costs a life.
absolutely. It's a life and death issue.
Yeah, so people think about it. Kushagra, we will take more of your offline questions offline as well whenever you need.
Share your number and
So he's already shared.
I put my
perfect.
number in chat. Another question was, what are the current challenges in the MBT market? Because a lot of players are already there. So what are they not doing that we could do better?
Difficult question, yeah. So, as in Kushagra, this is people are doing everything that they can. It is a matter of time when something will hit. So it's not that something that probably you will bring online, which is unique. So as in, I am doing something of unique of mine. A lot of partners in Bangladesh are doing unique of their own. But to get the scale that you talk about, it is a matter of time. The scale will come. I have something very unique of mine own as well, but I don't want to discuss on a platform where, we don't want to promote ourselves. That's it. So that's why I'm not talking much about the platform, but it is a scalable product.
Got it,
Yeah.
got it.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anybody else has a question before I take up Zahir Bhai's question? Okay, so let me take Zahir Bhai's question, which I think is very prominent for all the partners there. Everybody from Bangladesh knows Zahir Bhai, so he has asked 4 questions, which is every partner would want to know about. So one is need to know FRRO matter, hospital changes issue. So what has happened recently is that FRRO, which is the Indian government organization, has said that if you have taken a visa invitation letter from one hospital, let's say अगर आपने कहीं एक अस्पताल से वीजा लिया है और अगर आप ट्रीटमेंट आने के बाद अगर ट्रीटमेंट कहीं और से लेते हो तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आपने ट्रीटमेंट ले लिया, बट दूसरी बार अगर जब आपको जाना है तो आपको वीजा नहीं देते ये लोग. सो दैट्स अ वेरी न्यू चेंज दैट हैज हैपेंड. सो वेर एवर यू टेक वीजा वहां पे ही आपको जाना है. ये बांग्लादेश के लिए नहीं है, दिस इज फॉर एवरी अदर कंट्री. ओके. Having said this, there is a possibility of you to change because government को भी पता है that you cannot force a patient to stick to one hospital. But government ये बोल रहा है कि बॉस आपको जाना है इंडिया में, वही अस्पताल में जाइए. इन दैट फर्स्ट 7 days, अगर आप इंडिया में गए 7 दिन के बाद आपको कोई अस्पताल चेंज करनी है तो यू कैन डू दैट. उसका प्रोसेस है कि आपको एफआरआरओ में ऑनलाइन एप्लीकेशन देना है, उसको बोलना है कि अभी मैं ये अस्पताल में जा रहा हूं बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीजन. वो अगर आपने कर दिया तो एफआरआरओ विल एक्सेप्ट दैट और आपको रिटर्न में नेक्स्ट टाइम पे वीजा में इशू नहीं आएगा. ये पेशेंट के लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट टास्क है, तो ये पेशेंट नहीं कर पाएगा इजीली. हालांकि ये मैटर पे भी अगर जब हमारे पास बहुत डिटेल में इंफॉर्मेशन आ जाएगी, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच आर नॉट वेरी वेरी क्लियर येट, तो वो जब एकदम क्लियर आ जाएगी तो शायद हम उसके ऊपर भी एक सेशन कर लेंगे. बट हैविंग सेड दिस, अभी हमारे जितने भी पेशेंट आते हैं उसको हम ये असिस्टेंस देने का चालू किए हैं. हमें पता नहीं है कि वो एग्जैक्टली सही है कि नहीं है, क्योंकि वंस द पेशेंट गोज बैक और जब उसको वीजा मिलेगा तो हमें पता चलेगा कि हाँ ये सही हुआ है. तब तक तो हमें ये क्लियर इंफॉर्मेशन एफआरआरओ की तरफ से भी आई नहीं है. So that is for us to look out and also explain the patient to try and go to the same hospital where they have taken the visa invitation letter. इसलिए अभी जो अपोलो चेन्नई का मैटर है या एआईजी का मैटर है या आपका सीएमसी का मैटर है, ये बहुत क्रूशियल है. यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन द पेशेंट वेल. सेकेंड इश्यू जो सबसे बड़ा है, पेशेंट मैपिंग इश्यू. अब कई बार ऐसा होता है स्पेशली बांग्लादेश पर्सपेक्टिव से, दैट एक ही पेशेंट 5 जनों से बात करता है. वो 2 पार्टनर से बात कर रहा होगा, किसी से टिकट निकाला, किसी से वीजा निकाला. सेकंड, वो अगर आपने कोई अस्पताल का नाम दे दिया तो वो अस्पताल को सर्च करके कोई पार्टनर ने उसकी डमी वेबसाइट बना के रखी है तो उसके ऊपर लीड चली गई. सो one patient is approaching 2-3 kind of hospital. तो वो थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग है. सो हर एक अस्पताल के अपने मैपिंग के खुद के रूल्स एंड पॉलिसीज है कि भाई पहले किसने इंटीमेशन भेजा, किसने ओपिनियन भेजा, किसने वीआईएल भेजा. अब जैसे दिल्ली है, दिल्ली बोलता है किसने क्या भेजा मुझे, मेरे पास पेशेंट कौन लेके आया. सो एवरी
I mean physically.
हाँ, फिजिकली हॉस्पिटल में पेशेंट कौन लेके आया, वो पेशेंट उसका, क्योंकि वो तो वरना घुमा भी सकते थे. सो देर आर दिस काइंड ऑफ challenges happening in Delhi or in India. But having said this, there are rules and protocols. Our operation team Sneha is there, COO. She manages this wonderfully. So मतलब अगर 10 में से हमारे 8 या 9 पेशेंट के मैपिंग सही होते हैं, मतलब हमारा मैपिंग कंफर्मेशन होता है, फिर हम बता देते हैं. बट ये चैलेंजिंग है, बहुत चैलेंजिंग इश्यू है, हर एक अस्पताल की अलग अलग है. ओवर द एक्सपीरियंस यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इट. तो मैं इसका एक आंसर बहुत सिंपल जवाब में नहीं दे सकता हूँ. ठीक है.
अच्छा, एक्चुअली आई थिंक कुमकुम हैज आस्क्ड, अगर ये हॉस्पिटल चेंज कर दिया एक दूसरे जगह पे, फिर भी मैपिंग होगा क्या?
हाँ, अगर हमें पता है तो चेंज हो गया, अगर पेशेंट अपने आप कर दिया तो नहीं होगा. अगर
हाँ,
हमने कह
you
दिया
need to be informed. हमें पहले
है,
बताना.
क्या वो पेशेंट के पास, वो अस्पताल के पास पहले से किसी ने लीड भेज के रखी है, तो शायद ना भी हो.
हाँ.
ये विद विद कुमकुम अगर पेशेंट हमारे अंडर है जो सर्विस, ये मैं नहीं बोलूंगा कि हमारे अंडर, अगर कोई भी इंडिया में या कोई भी जगह पे अगर आपका लोकल स्ट्रेंथ है और वो बंदा सही है, ईमानदार है, तो आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगा. टैपिंग हो जाएगा. बट फिर भी यू हैव टू बी ओपन. दिस इज नॉट दैट पेशेंट आपका ही है, पेशेंट के पास बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस हैं. सो जितना आप ट्रस्ट बिल्ड करोगे, जो विद्या जी ने बोला, अगर ट्रस्ट आपके पास है तो पेशेंट आपको सब चीज बोलेगा.
Correct.
ठीक है ना.
I think the important factor for us to remember is this rule that invitation कहाँ पे लिया है वहीं पे भेजिए as a preference.
हाँ, वो प्रेफरेंस होना चाहिए आपका.
हम्म.
राइट. ठीक है. द थर्ड इज
Fit to fly.
फिट टू फ्लाई. जहीर भाई, पेशेंट फिट टू फ्लाई में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आता है. रिटर्न में मतलब बांग्लादेश वो फिट टू फ्लाई नहीं होता है, अफ्रीका में और अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड यू हैव टू गिव अ फिट टू फ्लाई सर्टिफिकेट व्हिच नीड्स टू बी साइंड बाय द डॉक्टर, ट्रीटिंग डॉक्टर इन इंडिया. एंड उसके बाद वो एयरलाइन को सबमिट करना पड़ता है. हालांकि अभी बांग्लादेश में ये इशू नहीं आ रहा है. इफ इफ ये चालू हो जाएगा तो आपके थ्रू हमें भी पता चलेगा, तो वो हम फिट टू फ्लाई करवा देते हैं. जनरली हॉस्पिटल दे देती है. अगेन आई वुड नॉट से माय ओन कंपनी, एनीबॉडी हु इज डूइंग इट, वो हॉस्पिटल से फिट टू फ्लाई सर्टिफिकेट देके दे देता है. नाउ फोर्थ इज एयर एम्बुलेंस प्रोसेस. नाउ अगेन एयर एम्बुलेंस प्रोसेस में सबसे बड़ी चैलेंज है, whoever the partners are here, please understand, tell your patients that a normal cost is between 15 lakhs to 25 lakhs for air ambulance from anywhere in Bangladesh. Are you willing to do it? पहला स्टेप आपका ये कर लो. अगर है, अगर ये विलिंगनेस है, तो आपको बताना है, आपको मुझे सब रिपोर्ट्स देना है, पेपर देना है, कौन सी अस्पताल में जाना है. उसके बाद आपको वो बोलेगा कि हाँ यार इतनी कॉस्ट है और ये दिन में जाना है. अगर वो दिन में अगर आप नहीं लेते हो तो वापस ये पूरा कॉस्ट का प्रोसेस चालू हो जाता है. इसलिए आपको पहले मेंटली उनको रेडी करना पड़ेगा कि भाई 15 से 25 लाख रुपया होगा. वो पहले आपके पास रेडी है. वो रेडी है तो आप मुझे सब डॉक्यूमेंट्स भेजेंगे या एयर एम्बुलेंस वाले को भेजेंगे. दे विल गिव यू द कॉस्ट. वो कॉस्ट देने के बाद वंस यू अप्रूव इट, दे विल रेज अ इनवॉइस. यू विल हैव टू पे देम. दे विल ऑब्टेन द नेसेसरी परमिशंस. उनको 1 या 2 दिन लगते हैं परमिशंस के लिए. फिर वो आपको ढाका एयरपोर्ट से या कहीं भी जो आपका नियर बाई इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट है, चाहे वो सिलेट हो या चाहे दूसरा हो, वहां से आपको पिकअप करेगा and drop to the nearby airport in here, and then they can also arrange you ambulance from the runway till the hospital. But ये प्रपोजल में सबसे पहला प्रोसेस इंपॉर्टेंट है कि ये होना चाहिए आपका कॉस्ट मैटर. रही बात जब लैंड करते हैं तो इमिग्रेशन, तो वहां पे वो एयर एम्बुलेंस वाले सपोर्ट करते हैं इमिग्रेशन के लिए भी. ठीक है. सो जहीर भाई, आई होप आई हैव आंसर्ड यू ऑल क्वेश्चंस. Just a second. I'll have Vidya ji, can you continue? I just have to take call.
Sure, not a problem. There's another question which says, does the patient need to get a letter from the first hospital when applying at FRRO? I don't think there is a need to take from the first hospital because anyway the patient has made a decision. Patient ने decide कर दिया है कि वो दूसरी जगह पे जाएंगे ना, तो पहले hospital से लेने का कोई वहां पे मतलब ही नहीं होता है. They're changing, but FRRO के साथ permission लेना जरूरी है because that process has to be applied. That is what would be very important. And the next question, what are the things we should keep in mind as MVT company while approaching hospitals for MOU? Yes. I think one of Mihir could add on to it, but one of the very important factor that you have to remember when you tie up with a hospital is whether they have international team to take care. You know, some of the places where they want to promote medical tourism, but they do not have the infrastructure or a facility available, and they don't even have a team to take care.
No, this is a very, very nice point and nice point taken by Vidya ji. Many of my Bangladeshi partners tell me, यार ये छोटी अस्पताल है, they have started coming promoting here. When can you start it? And I tell Zahir bhai, no, we don't want to do it. The reason is कि इनको एक बार धंधा चालू तो करना है, but वो consistency ला पाएंगे, उनके डॉक्टर्स रेडी है. शायद कभी क्या होता है, मैनेजमेंट बोलेगा we want to start international business, but डॉक्टर को पता नहीं है कैसे करना है, पैरामेडिक्स नर्सिस को नहीं पता है, सिक्योरिटी को नहीं पता है, डॉलर कैसे लाएंगे पता नहीं है, फेमा रूल्स नहीं पता है. तो ये बहुत सारी चैलेंजेस है. मतलब even as a partner you have to understand where you want to send your patients. So this is a very crucial point, that you need to have a trustworthy partner in your local countries. एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप कल थाईलैंड पेशेंट भेज रहे हो तो थाईलैंड का लोकल बंदा आपको लगेगा. ये चीज आप समझ के रखिएगा. मूविंग फॉरवर्ड,
बिल्कुल.
डॉलर भाई का एक क्वेश्चन था, कौशल भाई का. नो, यस, does the patient need to get a letter from the first hospital when applying at FRRO for hospital changing? कौशल भाई, yes, to certain extent. Sometimes patient को नहीं लेना पड़ेगा, but sometimes लेना भी पड़ेगा if it is a crucial treatment. If it is a transplant patient, if it is a quaternary care patient, then उसका transplant का letter उसको NOC लेना पड़ेगा, जो उसके लिए उसको जो हॉस्पिटल में वो चेंज कर रहा है वहां पे भी उसको वो बोल सकता है कि प्लीज ऑब्टेन एनओसी फ्रॉम देम, सो दे कैन आल्सो कम्युनिकेट. हालांकि इंडिया में हॉस्पिटल आपको इतना इजीली एनओसी हेल्प नहीं करेगा, बट दे आर बाउंड टू गिव यू, सो डोंट वरी. एक दिन जाएगा, बट दे विल हेल्प यू आउट, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. Second, Dania Lashraf ji said, what are the things we should keep in mind as MVT company while approaching hospitals for MOU?
That's what you answered out.
Yeah, so see, these are, every company has their own set of minds, okay? Some people believe कि हमें कितना percentages मिल रहा है, some person believe कितनी अच्छी इंटरनेशनल टीम है, कितने अच्छे डॉक्टर्स हैं. हमारा पहला मानना है कि भाई वो हॉस्पिटल का ब्रांड है या स्टैंड अलोन हॉस्पिटल है, कितने सालों से हॉस्पिटल है, कितने नंबर ऑफ बेड्स है, एक्रेडिटेशंस क्या है, चाहे वो NABH है, JCI है, CAP है, NABL है, कितने एक्रेडिटेशन है. सी, हमको लगता है ना कि एक्रेडिटेशन कुछ काम के नहीं है, बट हालांकि वो एक्रेडिटेशन के लिए भी उनको बहुत सारे प्रोसेस मेंटेन करने पड़ते हैं. सो दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. फोर्थ इज हाउ मेनी बेड्स. अगर छोटी बेड की अस्पताल है, 50 बेड 75 बेड, वो चाहे आपको कॉस्ट कम दे सकता है, बट क्वार्टरनरी केयर नहीं दे सकता, टर्शियरी केयर नहीं दे सकता. आप एक चीज समझिए, पहले क्या होता था, इंडिया में भी आज भी है कि छोटे छोटे नर्सिंग होम, छोटे छोटे अस्पताल बने के रखे हुए हैं, 50 बेड 70 बेड. Those are not bad hospital for a domestic patient, but when you are traveling from a different country, you need to be at a multi speciality hospital. या अगर आप सिंगल स्पेशलिटी में जाते हो तो बड़ी बड़ी ब्रांड में जाओ, क्योंकि अगर आपको मिड ऑफ नाइट में कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ, who is going to help you out?
True.
So
And we
patients
have a good operating theater, ICU facility.
See, हमको लगता है कि क्या ऑपरेशन थिएटर आपका लेमिनार फ्लो है कि नहीं है, छोटे से वो भी नहीं होता, तो चांस ऑफ इन्फेक्शन गोज हाई.
True, absolutely.
So you will have to ensure all these points while keeping in mind before you sign the MOU. कोई आपको ज्यादा परसेंटेज देगा उसके लिए आप साइन कर लोगे, that's not the right way. You are actually creating a problem for your patient which will impact your business for a longer period.
Very good.
एक second, again I have to take a call, sorry. Really.
Sure, no worries. Okay, as a MVT company, what are the key documents we should maintain as a record related to the patient? Is there any specific set of documents we should stay compliant to? Of course, you need to keep all their medical reports, their passport copies, and what I would recommend is have an undertaking from the patient if you're like if you're from Bangladesh, preferably in both the languages, English and Bangla. I don't know if there is a policy there to maintain
Which
that.
you took, Vidya?
The last one from Daniel, which says, what are the documents we need to take care of it? I
Okay.
think we need to have an undertaking from the patient that they are making an informed decision for themselves. They have to sign a document saying that they are making a decision on their own. That is a document which will support you that you have not forced them to go to this hospital. I think
So I
those are
think to say, what Daniel ji, what Vidya ji is saying is a very ideal process.
handy.
Practically, no patient want to sign it. So you need to develop the trust with the patient. Keep as much as process on the email, saying
Hmm.
that boss, this is what we have done, this is what we have given you. आपने VIL मांगा, बांग्लादेश में लोग गलत फेक VIL देते हैं, ये सब बंद हो गया क्योंकि एम्बेसी अभी सब वीजा रिजेक्ट कर रही है. So
Yes.
जितना आप डॉक्यूमेंट्स उससे पास से ले सकते हो उतना बेटर है फॉर योर सेफ्टी. इवन फॉर पेशेंट ये सब जरूरी है. I will take up the question from Aris Faruqi. What kind of insurance coverage is available for medical tourists in India from African countries and CIS? All right. Again, a exciting question. I want to know, Aris, where are you from? But having said this, the insurance is covered in case you are covered in that country and bought a product which can cover you for India. So, example, Aetna is one insurance company. Or let's say if you are talking about African countries, either is UAP, Jubilee, AAR, Cigna, all these insurance companies who give you coverage, there are hospitals which accepts these patients. Not only these companies, even government insurance like NHIF from Kenya, they accept patients even from CIS for that matter. However, lot of time the insurance company which has defaulted in the payment, they have stopped. So for this, any of your patient, if you have an insurance covered patient, please take it in writing with the hospital in India that boss, will you accept my patient or no? If they have given you, only then tell them to travel to that hospital.
Mihir, to add to it, if not on a direct payment with the hospital, on a they could go on a payment basis and provide all the documents to apply for reimbursement.
Yeah, but that happens in Omar Vidyaji, African and CIS. If you go to reimburse, they will never get a reimbursement. So they prefer to get into the cashless matter only.
Cashless service, yeah. Yahan pe they can go for reimbursement.
All right. So Aris has another question called what is the market size of MVT? Aris, the market size for the market size, there is no data available. As in, there are various data. There are data that has come from the FICCI. There is data that has come from the Ministry of Government. But as an experienced guy, I can tell you that the industry is huge. Globally, it is more than $50 billion industry. But in India, it is likely to be around $3 billion industry, where I'm not considering travel and other business. It is only treatment as treatment business, right? So right kind of mapping is not there. The next question is from Kumkum. It says, if we change the hospital after a visa, is it also make a problem for the future too? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you change hospital, now it will be a problem for the next time visa. So we have to follow the process, which is better for the patient as well. What is the expected growth? All right. So if you ask me, that's a wrong question to ask me because I'm a very, very highly optimistic guy. So I would say that the next 5 years is going to be rock solid for Indian growth. I think it should be more than 25-30% easily. CAGR. What should patient know about insurance coverage for treatment in India? I don't think so that I could answer it. The first thing is they need to have a plan where IP as in they just need to take care of that their insurance is covered for treatment worth at least $10,000 or let's say $15,000, which will cover all of treatments under them. I think Dania's this question was taken. There is another one. What role do international partnership play in India's medical? It's huge example. If I work with a lot of partners around the globe, and they need a local partner. If I don't build a relationship with them, they will be stuck in a lot of way in India. right? So
Correct.
it's a very, very difficult and very, very crucial to have international relationships. If you do a lot of relations with Indian hospitals also, that is also very important. But having said this, there are a lot of challenges with the hospital, which probably arise once you started, you will come to know what are the challenges. What should patients do in case of medical complications while in India? First, you need to have somebody, see, patients will need to approach the hospital guys. Number one, if you have directly worked with the hospital, if you have somebody to take care of your patients in India, you need to approach them and you need to approach hospitals both. And then there are a lot of ways and means where the complications will be taken care of. There could be a possible mortality as well. In the case of mortality, there are a lot of documents and a lot of formalities that needs to be followed, which the hospital will help you to do that. Or if you are working with people like us, we will be able to help you that.
I think this is the point where the importance of a facilitator comes in.
Yes.
That's the
You need to
reason
help them.
to have a trusted partner as a facilitator is extremely important to support in these situations of complications.
I think the understanding of service is to be able to stand at the wrong time or a bad time.
Hmm.
When people say that we are doing a great service, we are doing good, it's only a matter of time when at the wrong or bad time how you are be able to stand. Because as a person, as a company, as a human being, we also have a lot of things. We may have a family function in India and something happens. You may have to skip that. You can't look at that. Oh, I have a family function, or you be able to do it on the phone and send somebody from your team there, right? So that will deliver your partner's strength. Because if you are sitting in one country in Africa or in Bangladesh, something happens here in India, you can't fly down immediately, right? You may not have a visa immediately. So that kind of trustworthiness partners are very crucial. All right, it's already 1 hour 40 minutes. I generally feel it should be restricted to 1 hour 30 minutes at the most.
Yes.
I think we have answered all of them well. Daniel has another question. Do we require to take any licensing from government agencies? Daniel, I don't know, where are you from? Are you from India?
Any country would have a registered license, right?
So Daniel, if you're from India, there is no specific medical tourism license as such, but NABH accreditates partners who follow the certain process. That can be taken off. That is nice to take the license from NABH, which is a government institute. Otherwise, you can register your company, put it in the MOA, which is Memorandum of Articles, as that we will do medical tourism. That is the activity which you can put. Each country has a different rules. Each country has a different legal processes. So that you have to follow. Understand one thing, this is a matter of life and death. Please follow 100% compliance. So without that, you will be stuck today or tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much. I am really, really thankful to Vidya ji for this great session. If I have not been able to answer somebody's question, I can take it offline.
Offline, yeah. We can pick up their question and send them a response later.
Sachi can email you, and Sachi, please. Okay, somebody has raised. Arvind has raised hand. Before that, Nahid has question. I asked 2 or 3 doctor opinion. Each and every approximate costs were huge.
Compatible approximate
Or
cost.
comparable. Nahid bhai, is it compatible or comparable? If you want a reduction in the cost, sometimes there are many times where patient says that I don't have a budget. I want a lower cost. Okay. With us, probably we may not be able to give you very low cost, because that means you have to compromise on the hospital and the process, which we don't want you to stuck. So you need to train. See, sometimes it is okay to lose a patient, right? It is okay to tell them no before they go, because if they come here and then face a problem, then you will spoil your name as well. So better to inform them. And if they still want to go at a reduced cost, we will help them to get that as well. Arvind ji, please tell me.
But don't overpromise the patient just because to acquire a case.
Yes, that's very, very important.
Yeah.
Arvind ji.
Good
Sorry, I muted you. Sorry. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Vidya. You spoke really well, and Mir, you really spoke mindfully. Medical tourism is a vast organization. It's good. As Vidya also said, it's very deep, everything. One thing, if I want to join or if I send a patient to Simplify MVT, I send a patient to you, and the patient goes to the recognized hospital. What if the patient being swapped to a different hospital? Who's responsible? Is it MVT or the hospital?
Come again. What if patient
The patient is swapped to another hospital. Patient gets transferred to another hospital.
from hospital?
From one, like we refer to one hospital, but in that process, patient gets swapped to another hospital. वो
Who's
घुमा
responsible?
देते patient को
That's
कहीं
a
और पे.
very nice question, Arvind ji. I'll tell you in two ways. Okay. Number one, Simplify MBT is a tech platform, so we don't have anything to do with your process. It is my another parent company, which is Magnus Medi, which manages the process. So that's for clarification of all our partners here. Simplify MBT is just a tool. The academy is just to empower my partners. That's the two lines of it. Now, but the question related to this is wonderful, and it is related to Magnus Medi. Imagine you are sending a patient to one of the hospital, and the patient is on the way. Especially for Bangladesh, what happens is they are coming from let's say in train Kolkata to Bangalore. Okay, let's say they are coming to Bangalore. That's Chennai. Now, when they're going to Kolkata to Bangalore, in the train they meet 5 more Bengalis. And the Bengali guy says that, boss, where are you going to Manipal? You should go to CMC Vellore only. This is going to the cost. This is going to the cost. Now, in the no fault of anybody, the patient chooses to get down at Bangalore rather than going to Chennai or Vellore and meet the CMC guys. Now, nobody is in touch with patient. Now, here, the most important thing is a trust of a partner. If the trust is there, the patient would still call you, say that, boss, I'm getting down at Vellore, and you should let him get down. There is no problem. Let him get down. Tell them that, boss, okay, no problem. Go and check. See, when we are selling it as a company, we should tell them that, yes, please go. It's not about because CMC doesn't pay us. CMC has a lot of challenges. They don't give the service to the patient which is required. They have huge waiting time. So because of all of these, international patient cannot wait for that time.
Correct.
Now then they will come back to you. Okay. So if you build that trust, having said this, there are sometimes you lose the patient. Now, whose fault is this is a very, very difficult question to map. There are problematic is that the patient is not trusting you. There are problem is the patient is not picking up our call. The patient has reached it, hospital guy himself, the person who's working in the hospital, pulled up the things, connects, and sent him to somebody else. Now,
Actually, Mihir, patient, it has happened. Patient admission के बाद भी कहीं और लेके चले जाते हैं.
Yeah, because the
Even
translator,
after admission, some staff will get involved with them and take them
the
to another place.
translator, the
yeah,
translator.
even for
Translators. Yeah, translators.
even for $50 or $100 also they do it.
Hmm.
Halaki, again, when I told you earlier about the mapping issue, kudos to Sneha and team from my team. 8 out of 10 people are mapped correctly. And
But Amir, one thing, sorry to disturb you. Do you charge initially with the patient as a referral registration fees or anything, or you just take the
We
patient's
don't charge.
report?
We don't
You
charge
don't
the
charge.
patient.
Okay, okay.
We don't charge the patient to get an opinion. He's asking if we charge the patient to give.
that's
give
a, see,
So
that's
they will stick
not a
on to you. They will stick on to you. They don't go to anybody else.
no, that's not a bad model. In 2018, I tried to pivot for that. Okay. Why don't you charge for second opinion? I don't want to waste my energy on giving a free opinion and somebody runs away. Okay. So I myself tried and did that. And it was exciting. I actually got some positive reviews on it. But then COVID hit, so we stopped doing that. And then we completely moved.
But
They are
maybe
now-
when they pay the money, maybe they will stick to us. Probably that could also be a.
Understand one thing. Digitally to buy or to get some patient, some. Sir, just a second. I'm actually buzzed. Hello. Yes. मैडम एक मिनट चालू रखिए मैडम एक मिनट चालू रखिए आप
I
5
think this mapping is a huge issue that every partner would be really interested in. And I think government also will bring in a lot of regulations to make this industry more streamlined and also to be more productive as a professional organization. At the moment, there is lot. You're on mute, Mihir.
सॉरी सो
Streamline हो जाएगा आगे जाके शायद.
हाँ तो ये प्रॉब्लम रहेगा मतलब इट्स नॉट दैट इजी एंड ऑनलाइन किसी से पैसा निकलवाना इज अ टास्क इफ यू कुड डू इट you could actually gain a lot of traction on it. So please do it if you can do it. That's a very good model. Somebody asked me what you can do unique. I think Kushagra asked me. I think this is the
How do
model.
you,
I
how do
tried
you
myself. I tried myself and I loved it. I mean, it's not bad idea, but and we tried doing this in B2B space as well. I told my partners कि boss आप मुझे मत दो लेकिन पेशेंट से लेना चालू करो पैसा. But it is not easy. Zahir bhai is our country head there, and he will tell me, boss, ये सब आप बंद करो.
I know. These are, I think, these are actually the facts for evolution. Evolve hote hote, ये सब, it will be the process which will be ironed out.
All right. Thank you so much. I would want to close it now.
Yes.
Anybody has a question, please send me offline. Please send Vidya ji offline and we will answer you all. Thank you so much for Sachi and the entire academy team as well.
Yes.
Lovely
Thanks
topic.
to everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll close right now and we'll stay in touch and join us for the next session on first Saturday of next month. Stay tuned to find out more about it. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful, successful work tenure.